Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Around New Britain with Mayor Stewart, a show that updates you on the issues facing the city of New Britain. A big thank you, as always, goes out to Nutmeg Television for the opportunity and the technical assistance in bringing you this program. If you happen to miss this episode on TV, or if you live outside of Nutmeg TV's viewing area, you can visit youtube.com for a complete video archive of the Around New Britain with Mayor Stewart series. Over the last 3 years, I've made a firm commitment to making government more open and transparent, accessible to the people that I serve. This show is just another step in opening our government to everyone in the community and giving you an inside look. I want you to know that my office is always open to the people, especially those that are looking for solutions to the problems that they may face. Although I might not be able to solve everything for you, I can certainly point you in the right direction. My office does this by phone, by email, through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, our city website, all of the outlets that we have that are available to you to be able to contact us. Great things are truly happening in the city of New Britain, from developments large and small to beautification projects, community events, and much, much more. There's lots and lots to share, and I hope that my guests on this show provide you with a perspective into our great city that you certainly can't get anywhere else. So I want to get started with our first segment titled What's Happening in City Hall to give you an update on what will be going on during the month of December. Just so you all know, there's only one council meeting this month. That's going to be on Wednesday, December 14th. One council meeting, Wednesday, December 14th. Public participation starts at 7 p.m. and the city council meeting will start right after. We also have a couple things going on prior to the council meeting this month. We have our Art in the Heart of the City reception that'll be held beforehand from 5 to 7, and we'll also have a reception honoring our Benefits Our Endless Awards winners, which is through our Parks and Recreation Department. For a complete and expanded list of all of the city commission meetings that will be happening through the month of December, you can tune in to the end of this broadcast where it will scroll up on your screen. Our fall leaf pickup is ending on December 2nd, so if you still have leaves to get rid of, please get them put out, although you might not have missed that by the time you see this show, so you can still drop them off at our recycling center if you do have bags left in front of your house. Our recycling center is at 642 Christian Lane in Berlin. Paving on Broad Street between Horace and Smith Street was recently completed. The contractor is set to work on installing a new water main from Smith to Burritt Street. So the anticipated completion for the project is going to be June 30th of 2017. So please pardon our appearance and don't mind the detours happening on Broad Street because of that. If you haven't noticed, there's a new parking lot that's open at 140 and 150 Arch Street. There are 27 new spots featuring meters, which will make it much easier for you to park and eat lunch at Riley's. Phase 3 of our Complete Streets Master Plan has been officially completed. Look for work on Phase 4, which involves safety improvements to Columbus Boulevard. That's going to start this spring. Also, what Phase 4 will do is move all of our local bus traffic from Bank Street over to Columbus Boulevard. So it will be quite the construction zone for the next year, but the outcome will be incredible. All of those streetscape work, the pavers, the new sidewalks is going to match all of the work of what you've already seen in our Central Park area and on West Main Street. Now that we're entering the winter season, I want you to please be mindful of our snow routes. Streets that are designated emergency snow routes per city ordinance do not allow parking between 1 and 5 a.m. December 1st and through April 17th. Let me repeat that again. If you live on an emergency snow route, you cannot park on the street between 1 and 5 a.m. from December 1st through April 17th, whether it's snowing or not. If you are violating that, it will result in a $99 ticket. You can look for signs that are posted on your road or visit newbritainct.gov and search snow preparedness to find a complete list of streets that are designated those snow emergency routes to make sure that you're in compliance. Over the last several months, the city partnered with the consulting firm Milone and McBroom to develop a transit-oriented development master plan for our downtown area and the areas surrounding around the 3 fast-track sites within the city. We have a very, very unique opportunity to create a smart mixed-use development in many different areas around our city. I want to encourage you to take a look at some of them. There are quite some interesting ideas that we have come up with, but in partnership with our community partners as well, the group has met extensively with the downtown district, with our neighborhood revitalization zones, with citizens to get their feedback and get your input on what it is that you would like to see developed in those areas, and we have tried our best to encompass all of that in this master plan. You can visit newbritonct.gov/TOD to view the entire report. Water has certainly been on everybody's mind lately, and it has been a very, very dry summer and fall that has led to water supply alerts all around the state, and our water supplies dropping extremely low, not just in New Britain, but statewide. So we are bringing our show to you today from the New Britain Water Department in our filtration plant, which you can see behind me, because we are very lucky in the city to have our own water system. We have a very, very valuable asset with the New Britain Water Company. In 1856, more than a decade before the incorporation of New Britain even as a city, the industrialist and city forefather Frederick T. Stanley, and our very first mayor, led an effort to secure a water supply. A year later, construction began on the first reservoirs here at Shuttle Meadow and atop Walnut Hill Park. In the decades that followed that, as our city's population grew and as manufacturing was increasingly growing and relying on the city's need for valuable water assets for fire protection and also to go to our homes, our water supply continued to expand. And today we serve some of the best drinking water to not only our city residents, but customers that we have in surrounding towns. So I want to welcome to the show today our director of our water department, Gil Bligh. Gil, thank you very much for being with us today.
Pleasure to be here.
And I think that what we have in the city of New Britain is something that not a lot of people are very familiar with. They know that our tap is tops from that campaign that we had back in the early 2000s, but a lot of people just don't know the basic information about our water supply, and I'm hoping that that's what we can be able to bring to our viewers today. So I'll start with a very, very basic question for you. How many reservoirs and wells does the city of New Britain own, and are they all located in New Britain?
Okay, well, we own 6 reservoirs, okay, and they're located in Southington, Berlin, Wolcott, and Burlington. There's actually no reservoir located specifically right in the city limits.
Fun fact. So even though you drive around and everybody sees Shuttle Meadow, that's technically in
Southington.
And owned by the New Britain Water Company, and not the only reservoir that we own by far.
That's right. Shuttle Meadow was built in 1858. Wolcott Reservoir up in Wolcott was 1904. Then they built Wigville Reservoir in Burlington in 1908. The upper and lower Harts Ponds, which are over by the Kensington Golf Course, were brought online in 1960. And the last reservoir, actually full reservoir to ever be constructed in Connecticut, complete reservoir, was Wassel Reservoir, which again is located in Berlin, part in Southington, and that was brought online in 1966.
1966, after the last major drought that we had.
Coincidentally, it was actually during the 910-day critical period of that drought. They started construction, started clearing the land in July of '64 and finished it in 1966, and the critical period ended in October of '66.
Wow.
So the 910 days, they were fervently building the Wassel Reservoir at the same time.
Wow. So we have 6 reservoirs, right? How many wells do we have?
Okay, we have, our wells are in Bristol, and they were installed between 1921 and 1955. There are 101 wells that were installed up there over the years.
101.
Not all of them are functional, and in fact, that's what we're trying to do, is going out for redesigning and redeveloping the whole well field. They produce 8.8 million gallons a day when they're fully developed. And in addition to that, at that same site, we have what we call a pond station, where we pump water out of a pond that's fed by the Copper Mine and Polk River Brooks in Bristol.
Okay.
And all that water gets transported over to a canal that feeds into Shuttle Meadow Reservoir and gets filtered through our filter plant.
So everything comes back home right here to the filter plant.
That's right.
How many gallons of water can all of the assets produce? Or the reservoirs, I should say.
Okay. The total combined safe yield of all our facilities is 17.64 million gallons a day.
So that's how much we can provide up to, but how much do we actually use on a daily basis?
Okay, we actually average 9.82 million gallons a day. But for the city residents alone, it's 7.7. We serve a population in New Britain of about 73,000 people, but we also serve the towns of Kensington, Berlin, Bristol, and Plainville. And they make up another 1.6 million gallons a day.
Gotcha.
So 16% of our water goes out of town, 89% stays in town.
How about that? Fun facts. I think that a lot of our viewers might not have known that. We are a company. This is also, I should mention too, the New Britain Water Company is not a part of the city's general fund budget. It is considered what we call a special enterprise fund. So it has its own budget, it makes its own money. It's basically like running our own business in the city that doesn't contribute to our general fund. So your taxes and everything that you pay on taxes doesn't necessarily benefit the New Britain Water Company. What you pay in your water and sewer rates are what feeds the department and pays Gil's salary and his employees and keeps everything running. So we've got 7. So how many residents altogether do we provide water to again?
Well, in New Britain alone,
everybody.
In New Britain alone, just 73,000.
And then in the other towns?
And then the other town, we don't have their population figures,
sure.
But it's about 1.6 million gallons a day average yield. We have 5 interconnections with those other towns, 3 of them in Kensington, just Kensington alone.
Yeah.
They have in our system, our distribution system, we have 240 miles of water pipes, anywhere from 4 inches in diameter to 42 inches in diameter.
Wow, which costs a lot of money to maintain.
Right, the fixed assets of the city of New Britain, like all water companies,
yep.
is about 90% of our rate base.
Wow, wow. So we have to talk to, now that we know exactly what we have and who the water company serves, we've got to talk a little bit about, the last year. And I think it's on everybody's mind because everybody's been reading a lot in the newspapers lately about this, extreme drought that we're in right now. And it's been an extremely dry year, not only for the Northeast, but, much of the entire country. And I think what our viewers want to know is what effect has that had on New Britain Water Company's supply?
Well, currently our total storage is 819 million gallons, which is only 30% of our total volume that we can store. The total volume of our summation of all our water storage and all our reservoirs is 2.9 billion gallons.
Okay.
So we're from 2.9 billion gallons down to 30% of that, or 819 million gallons. The last drought, as I mentioned before, ran longer actually than May 1964 to October, but those were the 910 critical days of the drought.
Wow.
That's where the reservoir started in May, which is usually our high point, our most full, and they were down quite a bit, and then they bottomed out all the way down to October 1966, where it started to come back up.
Wow. So the last time Connecticut has seen a drought this bad was 1964 it started?
64 to 66, that's
64
correct.
to 66, but we made it through all right.
Yes, we made it through, and the other thing was Wassel Reservoir, as I said before, hadn't been built yet. So what we have for our advantage here now is that we have the Wassel Reservoir,
yep.
which basically doesn't have much of a watershed, but we import water from Wolcott into that reservoir and also pump it up from the Harts Ponds reservoirs to store it there.
Funny how many years later and we're trying to do almost the same thing over again, right, with building a new reservoir up in the quarry area up, yep, there, but that's a topic for another time and one that we're not discussing today. But so 1964 was the last time this happened. I mean, and so what we're standing in right now, I mean, this was your brainchild. You are the guy that built and helped develop the water filtration plant that we are standing in today, right, which we have won national awards for. We have been renowned for the quality of water that we're able to provide for our residents. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about what actually goes on in the treatment plant here.
Well, this treatment plant is the most advanced water filtration plant in the state of Connecticut. It was the first treatment plant that had a combination both ozone disinfection and chlorine, so it had double disinfectants, mm-hmm, along with the granulated activated carbon filters. Those are the same type of material that people put on their carbon filters that they put on their faucets to take out the
Brita
chlorine.
filters.
Brita
yeah.
filters, the same thing. The filter plant cost $57.5 million. Our congressional legislators championed $7 million in grants to help fund this.
And at the time, that was Nancy Johnson, right?
She was our champion, but also Senator Lieberman and Senator Dodd were also very instrumental in that.
Great.
And the filter plant went online on May 12, 2004. The treated capacity is 22 million gallons a day, and as I said, we're under 10 million gallons a day average, so we have the capacity to produce almost twice as much water as what our average day demand is. And we do go up higher than 10 million gallons a day when the demand rises. The biggest demand usually occurs when we are flushing the pipes in the spring to maintain that. We have a 4 million gallon storage tank up behind the filter plant where all the water that goes to the city first resides, and then it goes by gravity down into the city.
Yep.
We have an emergency generator, and this whole plant can be powered by an emergency generator. It's seamless. We get numerous power outages up here because we're at the end of the grid, and it's all set up automatically to kick on. The computers don't even blink when it happens.
Very important.
And we have, as you were instrumental in getting us, a solar array. And up on the hill, that solar array, solar panel put in by Solar City, can produce 544 kilowatts of power AC. And over 20 years, it'll save us $1.6 million in reduced electrical costs. Not only that, it can not only power the whole filter plant, but at the same time, it can sell back to the grid, to Eversource, 270 kilowatts.
And we felt very strongly about doing that project up here because we wanted it to be a sustainable initiative where, let's say that we're not generating enough power. We can generate our own enough to power the plant to make sure that the water filtration system continues to go on. It's very big. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend taking a drive by. It's quite impressive.
and it is a very green project. I'll also finish up. We have the dual disinfection with ozone and chlorine. The power of that is that one complements the other and strengthens the quality and the safety of the water. It's followed by high-rate filter plate settlers, activated carbon, and then we treat the water with chlorine for disinfection. Another disinfectant. We increase the pH. We're at 9.5 for corrosion control, and our 90th percentile lead in our water quality report says it's 0. So 90% of the most susceptible taps that we found in the city that we tested, 90% were at 0.
That's amazing. That's great.
Finally, the fluoride is put in for dental protection.
Sure. And, I think we are extremely, extremely lucky with the asset that we have here. And it's just an incredible thing. But water is one thing that people call and ask about all the time. And there's many different, as you just heard, there's many different resources that we have in many different areas that we get our water from. And it's a constant maintenance, and we're constantly maintaining and looking for new sources of water too. We're hoping to be able to improve upon those wells in Bristol soon. That was kind of the drama with Patton Brook Well. We wanted to sell Patton Brook Well, which we don't use and haven't used in how long? But we wanted to sell that and use the money to improve on those other wells in Bristol. 27, there's 27 other wells in Bristol that we know we need to fix them. But it's all about building capacity, and I think it's interesting that, we talk about 50 some odd years ago, going through a drought, seeing history repeat itself, and us looking to build a new reservoir at the same time. When we built Wiggville, was that the last time a reservoir was built in Connecticut?
Wausau, yes. It was the last time a full reservoir was built. Since then, I believe 2 dams were raised, so they increased the capacity in some reservoirs. But it's the first time a full, brand new, complete reservoir was built back in '66.
1966.
So it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, and it's something that we have to seriously look at in order to continue providing water to your home. So when you turn the faucet on, water comes out, and you're not wondering why isn't anything coming out. But I think in light of the drought happening, are there any suggestions that you have for people watching on how to best conserve water?
Well, of course, the first thing is to check for leaks. That's just wasted water. Nobody wins on that. And the number one place to look is just in the toilet tanks. Lift the cover off and see if it's leaking, or we have dye tablets or just get some food coloring, you can see it that way. And then all the other things, outside water use is probably a moot issue at this point because of the weather and the time of year. The rest is just the logical things people do, shorter times in whatever they use their water for.
And we hope and say a prayer that Mother Nature works with us and brings us some rain. And in the meantime, we'll be exercising our right with the Metropolitan District Commission to purchase some water from them in order to try to refill Shuttle Meadow here in the interim while we patiently wait for the rain.
That's correct. Out of the 17.64 million gallons, it's been clearly stated numerous times that 5 of that is the NEPAWG connection that we have with MDC. That's been that way since the 1930 agreement, and the pump station and that connection was built in 1958.
Which we're very lucky to have now when we know at a time like this when we need it.
Right, and we don't exercise that for 2 reasons. Obviously it costs additional money to purchase the raw water and then treat it, but then the other reason is that the agreement with MDC is that we would use our own sources first and get down to where maybe not completely depleted, but down to a low enough level so it justifies using that water.
Certainly.
And that's where we're at right now. We anticipate taking that water for at least the month of December.
Great. Well, Gil, our time is up. I know we could talk about water forever as it is a very pressing issue, but if anybody watching does have questions for myself or Gil about this, feel free to contact me with the contact information at the bottom of your screen. Gil, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to our viewers a little bit about the New Britain Water Company and everything we have to offer.
Well, it's been an honor, and I thank you.
Thanks. Well, before we say our goodbyes for today, there's a few events that we have going on in the city of New Britain through the month of December that I would like to share with all of you. First off, I will be holding my monthly open office hours on Monday, December 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. in room 204 of City Hall. Come on down. It's first come, first serve. You'll get to spend about 10-15 minutes with me, hopefully, if the line isn't too long, and talk to me about anything that you would like. Our downtown Christmas tree lighting is going to be happening on Thursday, December 1st, starting at 4:30 p.m. Come visit with Santa, have coffee, hot chocolate, and watch us light up our beautiful Christmas tree right in the middle of Central Park. That goes from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. on December 1st. I would also like to take a moment to encourage all of you to enjoy our downtown shopping during the holidays. Whether you're visiting Amato's or Imperial Trophy, please come down and support our local business owners. There's going to be free parking during the weeks leading up to Christmas in the downtown area. Just look for the meters to be marked with the red bags. Speaking of shopping local, the New Britain Museum of American Art on their First Friday event will be having a First Friday Farmers Market. The holiday will feature over 25 vendors, including jewelers, crafts, and lots more. You can visit the museum's website for much more details. And I'm very happy to bring to you today that our annual Parks and Recreation Holiday House Decorating Contest is back. We've had some amazing submissions in the past, and we certainly hope you will submit your house to the Parks and Rec Department to win some awesome prizes. Winners will be announced the week of December 18th and will be given a choice of a night with the Skybox for the New Britain Bees game or a foursome at Stanley Golf Course. So I want you to upload the picture of your house, snap a photo of your house, go visit our Parks and Recreation Facebook page and upload your photo to their Facebook page, or you can give them a call at 826-3360 if you have another way of getting a photo to them, but upload it to the Facebook page and we'll be announcing the winners on December 18th. I would like to take this moment before we close to wish all of you a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. But please spend this wonderful time with your family and friends and loved ones and have an amazing, amazing holiday. And I want to wish all of you a very, very happy New Year as well. Sending many blessings and wishes your way for lots of health, happiness, and prosperity for 2017. Thank you all for being such loyal watchers of Around New Britain with Mayor Stewart. I have to thank you all and direct you again to the bottom of the screen for all of my contact information on how you can get a hold of me if you want to talk about issues that are affecting you. So I hope to see you back for another edition of Around New Britain with Mayor Stewart, this time in 2017.